Hi there and welcome. Today we're exploring something truly fascinating, the mysterious journey of the soul after death, through the eyes of one of the most intriguing mystics of the 20th century, Baba Vanga. Baba Vanga, whose full name was Vangelia Pandeva Gushtarova, was born in 1911 in Bulgaria. She lost her physical eyesight at a young age due to a severe storm accident, but something extraordinary awakened within her. Though blind to the outer world, she began to see with a different kind of vision, one that many believe allowed her to glimpse beyond the boundaries of life and death. The end of life is something that has puzzled and inspired humanity for thousands of years. What really happens when we die? Is there something beyond the final breath? Do we enter a new world, or dissolve into nothingness? These questions have been asked by everyone from ancient philosophers to modern spiritual seekers, and Baba Vanga offered a unique voice in this age-old conversation. What makes Baba Vanga's insight so powerful is how consistent and detailed her descriptions of death were. According to those who knew her and listened to her visions, she spoke of death, not as a frightening or final event, but as a transformation, a gentle shift in awareness. She described it as a separation of light from vessel, meaning the soul, or spirit, calmly lifts away from the physical body, like light leaving its container. To Baba Vanga, death was not the end, but a movement from one state of being to another. It wasn't dark or terrifying, it was peaceful, a release, a return. She often explained that the soul continues its journey, guided by unseen forces, entering a realm that most of us cannot see while we're still alive. In her words and energy, there was comfort, as if she was trying to tell us that we have nothing to fear. Through her deep inner vision, Baba Vanga gave people hope and helped them feel connected to something greater than themselves. She didn't claim to have all the answers, but her gentle wisdom touched the hearts of many. Her view of death reminds us that perhaps it's not about an ending, but about returning to the light we came from. Thank you for being here and joining this journey. If this message resonates with you, stay with us as we continue to explore the mysteries of the soul, the unseen realms, and the ancient wisdom that still whispers to us across time. When the dying moment arrives, she assured close friends, there is no darkness as many dread. A consciousness expansion unlike anything in physical life occurs. Souls sense numerous realities simultaneously. The mystic's visions showed a steady extension of perception that began before clinical death. She said, the dying person sees spiritual entities and deceased loved ones gathering around them, providing a bridge of familiar energies to assist the transition. It's remarkable that current hospice workers and medical experts who treat the dying have documented comparable patient reports. Many claim seeing departed relatives, having exceptional clarity of mind, or reporting unseen encounters like Baba Vanga did decades ago. Her panoramic life review claims were contentious. She taught that in the moments following death, the soul replays their existence to grasp the consequences of every deed, thought, and choice. It is not punishment, she said, perfect comprehension. Every stone tossed into existence creates ripples that the soul perceives for the first time. Why were these lessons ignored? Why would such important ideas be concealed from the public? Her afterlife descriptions didn't fit any theological tradition, according to scholars. They have aspects of numerous spiritual schools, but no genuine dogma. In a time and place with rigorous ecclesiastical and political frameworks, individual spiritual discoveries were often met with mistrust or hostility. Some of her most explicit death revelations occurred during the Cold War, when Eastern European nations prohibited spirituality conversations. Spiritual pursuits outside accepted ideological frameworks were discouraged by the political context. Transition process. What occurs in vital moments when spirit splits from the body? Spiritual insights from the Bulgarian mystic reveal a more intricate and lovely transformation than most people understand. Documentaries of her visions describe a complex process that begins before clinical death and continues beyond it. Her insight on energetic detachment is really intriguing. She claimed to see a luminous cable linking the physical body to the true self, a radiant energy form that hovers above the body as death approaches, according to intimate acquaintances who documented her lectures. She said this cord holds the person's life power and thins till separation. The separation is not instantaneous, she warned fans. It happens in phases, like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. First, energy from the fingers and toes loosens, then the body retracts into its center. The heart core is the last link before transition. These descriptions are intriguing because they match innumerable near-death accounts. Medical literature describes people floating above their bodies, seeing medical teams operate on them, and feeling tremendous serenity, similar to the Bulgarian seers' experience decades before. Dimensional portals and threshold guides. The mystic also described threshold guides, spiritual entities who help souls transcend. Her visions show that these advisors take diverse shapes, frequently comforting and recognizing each person. No one crosses alone, she said. The universe ensures companionship at this most important journey. Perhaps most stunning were her stories of dimensional portals after death. In her lessons, she recounted witnessing light doors to other worlds. Her claim, "Beyond the physical is not one realm, but many." The soul passes through several dimensional thresholds, each one dissolving more of the limitations of physical existence until the true nature of consciousness is revealed. Transition period, 3 days. She believed that the soul remained near to the physical world immediately after death, according to her students. She said the soul adjusts to its new state over 3 days, while still thinking of loved ones. This period is crucial for both the departing soul and the grieving, she stated. Time for mutual release. While the living must adjust to life without their loved one, the deceased must adjust to life without form. Her conviction that the deceased remain fully cognizant and aware, able to see the thoughts, feelings, and acts of those still living, made these insights contentious. She felt that this knowledge extended to anybody with whom the deceased had significant emotional relationships, regardless of distance. Secret teachings and political repression. Her closest friends kept her descriptions of what followed this initial transition phase a secret, raising questions about whether some parts were too significant or upsetting to discuss. Some who witnessed her visions said her views on the soul's final destiny questioned basic beliefs about existence. Why would such deep afterlife truths be concealed from the public? The answer rests in political pressure, religious rigidity, and possibly transforming information. Eastern European countries forcefully persecuted non-state-sanctioned spiritual practices and beliefs throughout the Cold War. The mystic spent much of her latter life in a communist regime that hated metaphysical ideas that challenged materialist theory. One colleague said, "Her home was under surveillance in a rare interview. Ostensibly for health checks, officials would routinely visit to monitor who was consulting her and what messages were being transmitted. Only loyal confidants heard the most profound disclosures, typically in whispers after guests departed. Religious institutions also questioned her afterlife descriptions. Her visions were identifiable across religion systems, yet fit none. What she described was neither heaven nor hell in the traditional sense," a religious researcher said of her comments. She spoke of a natural progression of consciousness, a spiritual evolution, independent of any faith system. This inevitably endangered those who controlled the afterlife. Last lessons: death as transformation. In her dying years, The Bulgarian mystic allegedly shared her most profound death revelations with her closest friends. Her teachings, carefully maintained by those who treasured them, offer a complete grasp of the greatest transition, one that radically challenges our view of life. These records show that she distinguished physical death from consciousness transition. She stated that the first is simply biological, the halting of physical processes. The second is a tremendous philosophical occurrence beyond earthly knowledge. The body dies, she said, but consciousness lives. It changes from limiting perception to expanded consciousness. We fear losing ourselves most at death, yet it doesn't happen. Perhaps her most innovative claim was about the moment of realization, when the departed spirit realizes that the physical world is simply one reflection of a much wider life. In that instant, she said, fear disappears. Souls realize that what felt like the end is a continuance. What looked black became light. Message for modern times. As consciousness research advances, these thoughts from a Bulgarian mystic who lived in obscurity become relevant. Hospice staff today share very similar insights about death. She sees similarities in near-death experiences throughout civilizations. Quantum physics increasingly reveals a cosmos where mind is foundational rather than a consequence of material processes. Her visions may not be the most essential part of her legacy, but her reframe of death as a transition to be comprehended. The biggest secret, she supposedly told her closest friend in her dying days, is that there is no secret. Sunsets, falling leaves, and expelled breath reveal death. All of nature shows that change is constant. Those who realize this live without fear, seeing each ending as a new beginning. Comment below with your experiences or questions. Every perspective helps us understand. Subscribe and enable alerts to never miss our next investigation into mainstream media's secrets. Our new time